Today, the topic is the impact of musicians in the community. Imagine a community without music. Imagine a government event without music. Imagine a wedding without music. Just imagine a birthday party without music. Imagine having a school as a school administrator, and you are very, very comfortable when you have no music in your school, depriving children from music. Imagine what type of the children you are educating. Now, we want to focus much on the impact of musicians in the community. With me are two gentlemen, Clyde Chisale and Richard. Gentlemen, welcome to the program and thank you very much for accepting the invitation to be part of this program on Ask John, where we are concerned about music in the community, music in schools, and music in our way of life. Imagine having the audience at the party without musicians. Now, imagine the government events, other government events, celebration, festivals, without music, without musicians. Because why I'm trying to bring this point is I want people to start realizing the impact and the significance of musicians so that they can probably find a special place for them and not necessarily to look at musicians as people who have failed in life, but as assets of life. So my question, Clyde, let's start with the society. Before we look at the impact, do you think that musicians feel respected, valued, and supported by the community and by the government? What are your views?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. And I think, to be honest, to be frank with you, based on the community I am part of right now, I feel that maybe a larger part of the appreciation from the community comes from the community appreciating the work that the musicians have done, or appreciating the product that the musicians have actually come up with, not necessarily the musicians themselves. Of course, they do appreciate that, and as musicians, we also feel that. But most of the bigger chunk of this appreciation, you can see that as a musician, I think it's most of my work that is being appreciated as compared to myself as a musician. I mean, this is a straight talk. A lot of musicians are being exploited, and it's very, very true. It's painful. So that's basically the reason why I'm saying mostly the community won't really appreciate the person behind the product, the person behind the music. So they love the fruits, but maybe not necessarily, taking care of the tree that is bringing out those fruits. So
That
yes.
Richard, do you feel appreciated, respected, and valued by the community? When people meet you in the community and you say I'm a musician, how do they react?
Musicians, they're not really appreciated by the society. Why I'm saying this, I'll give an example.
Mm,
Yeah, like you're professional musicians,
mm,
and there's some clients, they want a good music from you. They hire you, and when
mm,
you give them when you give them your price, they would say, no, you're too much, this man is too much. You see, so that
mm.
means they don't value you, they just value the music. Sometimes they value the music, but they don't value the artist.
Musicians don't feel appreciated. They society appreciate their product. What then do you think musicians should do to protect their works? As a musician, as a professional musician, also share some of your challenges that you have faced in your professional career as a musician.
John, that's a lot of work, but Rome wasn't built in a day. I feel that, first of all, we need to have one voice. I mean, we are working in a very huge industry. So what I may need for the community to do, or what I may want for the community to do in order to be appreciated, or in order for my work to be protected, I think we need to start with one voice. It needs to start as a group. We need to start as a team, just like the way we are doing right now.
Yes.
You created this platform. It's one of the steps towards getting the community to actually realize and say, oh, we don't. So I think this is one of the things. We need to create platforms like this. Number one, we need to meet up, put our ideas together. We need to have like one voice.
It's true. Some of the musicians are exploited. But this also reminds me and brings me to our third question. And our third question is, do you think that musicians are more satisfied by making a name while they languish in poverty and while their works are being exploited?
Oh, man. Well, honestly, I don't think so. Even though there's that social acceptance, the social feel that you have, that that comfort that gets to you when maybe you post a picture or you post a song and it gets 200 or 1,000 likes or things like that. It's not necessarily that the musician is happy with just with going out there to perform. There's a lot that as musicians we go through. There's a lot that we go through for someone to actually find themselves on that stage. There's a lot that we actually go through. So I think that
is it like
musicians
part
are
of
not
the growth to perform there? You're looking at part of the growth as a musician.
Yeah, it is part of the growth. It's part of the building blocks to building your name. Obviously, as a musician, because of your work, yes, you're gonna build a name somehow. You can't get away from that. You can't run away from that. But then you find that in our,
basically, I cried. What you're simply saying here is, musicians, they love what they do.
They love what they do.
It's up to the people who need them to know that these people are professionals, professional people, and they need to eat, and they go through so much.
Yeah. And for example, I'll just give an example, John, quickly. You'll find that there's an event. It has been planned for months. When you get there, you find that you, as a musician, maybe I'm a bassist, I'm a guitarist, I have not gotten paid yet. And the gig is now. But the people who brought the sound, the people who brought food and everyone has been squared. But you guys who are there now as musicians to make these speakers play and sound, you are being told, no, you guys will see you next week. Let's get collections and things. So it's things that it's crazy.
Crazy. Indeed. Thank you very much for sharing your views on this matter. Now, I decided to start with these questions. And before we go to the main question of this topic, I would like us to sample one of your songs that I've been really enjoying throughout this week. And I'm sure viewers will enjoy. Now, before I play this song, can you please just tell us what is it about?
Well, the song is a love song. A guy who was born and raised in poverty. He doesn't even know what school means. He doesn't know how to read. That type of a person who's just, and all he does is waking up and taking care of cattle. So one day he goes to the river. He meets a woman drawing water. And he knows the lady to be one of the daughters of that rich person. So this girl, she decides to come and talk to him. So he wonders, why are you talking to me? Don't you know I'm not even educated? Don't you look at me? So all of a sudden, the woman falls in love with his persona. She falls in love with his personality. So basically, the guy goes home and says to his parents that, you know what, Ndapita. Ndapita means I'm leaving. I have found the one I love. So I'm leaving. So basically, the whole song is actually like full of questions.
I can't wait to listen to that. Please, let's enjoy this this beautiful song.
Kudindani adakuuza kutine nchikwaya Kudindani adakunamiza kutife ngobeza Sinfanana ndiwena Sindiringati awo Sinfanana ndiwena ine Sindiringati awo Zotisukulu sindalowe kodisudziwa Kuwelenga ndi kuwelengera inesinziwa Mavalidwe yanga ngosapatsa gaso kodisudziwa Mayendedwe yanga ngojiditsa manyazi wena dindine mpakasha Goma zonse ziwe wataya ndazizwa ndazizwa Goma zonse ziwe wakana ndazizwa ndazizwa Kudele kuwapya mama ndapita kudele kuwapya gogo ndapita kankugu ndatenga ndapita kudele kuwapya mama ndapita kabulangete ndatenga nso ndapita kankazi ndapeza ndapita kachipadzuwa ndapeza ndapita
That was an amazing piece of music. Thank you so much, Clyde, for such a wonderful message. Let's go to the main question of today's topic and let's look at it critically. Gentlemen, what is the impact? I don't think it's just one. What are the impacts of musicians in the community? Clyde.
First of all, musicians, you know, they bring economic value to the country. Yeah, that's number one. That's number one. It's no doubt about that. So first of all, the economic growth of any or every country. So musicians do impact the economic growth of a country. Secondly, entertainment. You know, music makes us happy. Music, you know, draws us away from our depression, away from our stressful, you know, lifestyles. You know, so that's another impact. That's another impact. There's no wedding I've seen that doesn't have music. You were asking here at the beginning that can you imagine an event without music? I was failing to imagine. I'm like, okay, so I'm failing to see in my head an event that doesn't have music. So musicians impact the society in that way. Entertainment, but also the economic growth, like I said. Yeah.
Richard, what impact do you think musicians bring? What do you bring to the community as a musician?
Musicians, they have a very impact in a country or in a community. So, for example, like tourism,
Yeah.
like the musicians bring in, they have that attractive tourism, like the kind of music videos they have. It attracts people from outside
Mm,
to come to see the country, the community, how it looks, uh,
mm.
uh, according to to their music, to the music videos. You know, music videos sometimes attracts people.
Mm.
It gives attention to people all
Mm.
over the world. You see, so it has more of impact of bringing in people.
And I mean,
Yeah.
when you talk of education, musicians again, they add so much value to the education sector.
Yeah.
When there is so much going on in the community, musicians will sing songs. And so that's education as well. But like you've mentioned, entertainment. Right now, when we went through COVID-19, music played significant role. Musicians are very important people in the community. Let's not look down on them, because without music, then we can't hear this. Now I'm going to play one piece by Richard. Let's listen to his song. Now, this and what we've just heard is what musicians bring to the community: joy, smiles,
Wow. Wonderful.
happiness. What are your last words to the society and the government?
My last words would be the society, yes, the society should learn to appreciate, the work or the fruits and the tree itself. And to the musicians ourselves, let's change our behaviors.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm.
There are drugs
Get
out
our
there, there's
standard.
alcohol, there's what. We need to stop all that. We cannot preach wine and drink water. So our characters reflect a lot.
Friends. Thank you so much, gentlemen, and it was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.